What if the next decision you make could change everything? What if the future you dream of is not waiting for luck, not waiting for timing, not waiting for opportunity at us, waiting for you to think like the kind of person who can build it? In a world where ordinary thinking produces ordinary lives, there exists a man whose thinking reshaped industries, created fortunes, and redefined what humanity believes is possible. A man who transformed a small garage into the greatest online marketplace on earth. A man who turned bold ideas into global revolutions. A man whose mindset is now studied, copied, admired, and feared. This is the story of how Jeff Bezos thinks, and how you can use those same mental models to transform your own life, your future, and the world around you. Jeff Bezos didn't emerge from wealth, privilege, or magic. He emerged from curiosity. From the very beginning, he saw the world differently. As a child, he didn't just accept the things around him. He tore them apart, studied them, rebuilt them. He once dismantled his own crib because he wanted to sleep in a bed, not because he was rebellious, but because he was logical. He saw a problem and acted. That curiosity became the foundation of his genius. While most children asked simple questions, Bezos asked questions that opened doors to unseen possibilities. How does this work? Why does it work? Can it be improved? What's the future version of this? These questions shaped a mind that refused to accept reality as fixed. A mind that saw everything as a prototype instead of a finished product. And this mindset of endless curiosity is the first key to how Jeff Bezos thinks. Always imagine the improved version of the world. Never accept things as they are. Always imagine what they could be. Years later, as an adult working on Wall Street, Bezos was earning more than most people ever will. He had prestige, stability, a secure future. But deep inside, that same curious mind still burned with restlessness. He knew something bigger was calling him. Then one day, he discovered a number that shook his entire world. The internet was growing at 2,300% per year. That number didn't just catch his attention, it electrified him. Most people saw a statistic. Bezos saw destiny. He saw a force rising so rapidly that it would reshape the entire world. And in that moment, a door opened in his mind. He didn't know exactly what to build, but he knew something big would be born in that space. He spent days listing ideas, dozens of ideas, hundreds of possibilities. He analyzed markets, products, systems, and finally, one idea stood out. Books. Physical bookstores could only hold a few 100,000 titles at most, but online, limitless, infinite. A store with every book on earth. A store without walls, without limits, without borders. It was so simple, so elegant, so powerful. But to build it, Bezos would have to walk away from everything. His job, his security, his reputation, his comfortable life. And this is where most people stop, but not Bezos. He used what would become one of the most famous thinking frameworks in the world, the regret minimization framework. He asked himself, when I'm 80 years old, will I regret not trying? And suddenly, the answer was undeniable. He would not regret failing, but he would regret never knowing. The pain of regret outweighed the pain of failure. And so he made one of the boldest decisions in business history. And that is the second key to how Jeff Bezos thinks. Don't let your present self trap your future self. Think from the perspective of the person you will become later in life. When you make decisions based on regret instead of fear, courage becomes your default. Most people choose safety. Bezos chose destiny. Amazon's beginnings were not glamorous. They were chaotic. Orders had to be packed by hand. Desks were made from old doors because it was cheaper. Every day felt like a battle, but Bezos loved it. He famously said, "It's always day one. Day one means hunger. Day one means innovation. Day one means you wake up every morning ready to build something new. Day two means comfort, routine, complacency, eventually decay." Bezos built an empire with the mindset of a startup. Even when Amazon became a trillion-dollar company, he still said it is day one. Why? Because thinking like it's day one keeps you sharp, keeps you focused, keeps you creative. This powerful idea, staying forever hungry, forever humble, forever curious, is the third key to Bezos' thinking. Never let success make you slow. Never let growth make you comfortable. Always operate like you are just getting started. But another force shaped Amazon's rise: customer obsession. Bezos wasn't interested in being better than competitors. He was obsessed with being better for customers. He said, "Your competitors will learn from you, but your customers will reward you." While other companies studied each other, Amazon studied the customer. While other companies asked, "How do we beat the competition?" Bezos asked, "How do we make customers so happy they can't imagine going anywhere else?" That thinking created innovations like one-click purchases, fast delivery reviews, Prime, and thousands of systems designed for customer happiness. Bezos understood a golden rule of business: if you make customers love you, success will chase you. Value first, money later. That was his philosophy. And then came his long-term thinking. Jeff Bezos doesn't think in days, months, or quarters like most CEOs. He thinks in decades. He invests in ideas that won't pay off for 5, 10, 20 years. He once said, "Most companies want to be right. We want to be right in the long term." He faced criticism, doubt, even mockery. People laughed at Amazon's slow profits. They called it reckless. But Bezos knew something they didn't. When you think long-term, you build deep roots. You build systems that last. You build foundations that withstand storms. Amazon wasn't growing fast on the outside because it was growing deep on the inside. And eventually, the world realized the man playing the longest game always wins. But long-term thinking doesn't mean perfection. It requires something else: embracing failure. Bezos has failed more publicly than almost any billionaire. The Fire phone failed. Dozens of ideas failed. Experiments collapsed. Projects died, but Bezos didn't hide from failure. He chased it. He said, "If you're not failing, you're not inventing enough." To him, every failure is a sign of courage, a sign that you dared to try. Amazon Web Services, one of Amazon's biggest successes, was born from ideas nobody believed in. Failure became fuel. Mistakes became stepping stones. Bezos' thinking teaches us a rare truth. You cannot create something legendary if you're afraid to look foolish. And then there is one of his most powerful beliefs: bias for action. Bezos knows that most people think too much and act too little. They wait for perfect timing, perfect plans, perfect clarity, and lose precious years. Bezos believes that if a decision is reversible, you should make it fast. Experiment first. Adjust later. Speed matters. Movement creates momentum. Momentum creates clarity. Action beats perfection. That is how Amazon grew faster than its rivals. That is how he built a culture of doers instead of thinkers. That is how he turned small ideas into massive breakthroughs. But Jeff Bezos doesn't just think about business. He thinks about humanity. He thinks about legacy. He thinks about the next 100 years, not just the next product launch. He believes the greatest opportunities for mankind lie beyond Earth. That is why he created Blue Origin to make space travel accessible, sustainable, and safe. He believes humanity must expand into the cosmos to survive. He believes innovation is a responsibility, not just a dream. And this final principle is the most profound of all. Think beyond your lifetime. Don't just build for today, build for the future. Build for the next generation. Build something that lasts longer than your heartbeat. Jeff Bezos' thinking can be summarized not in a quote, not in a speech, but in a mindset. Think boldly, act boldly, fail boldly, build boldly, dream boldly. That is how a man from a garage became one of the most influential builders in history. And if you take even one of his mental models and apply it to your own life, you will move closer to greatness. Because success is not luck. Success is not magic. Success is thinking differently from the world around you. So ask yourself today, are you ready to think long term? Are you ready to embrace failure? Are you ready to choose action over fear? Are you ready to chase value instead of money? Are you ready to start your own day one? Because this is your moment, not tomorrow, not next week now. The mindset that built Amazon can build your dreams too. Think bigger, think bolder, think fearlessly. Thingla, Jeff Bezos, and step into the extraordinary future waiting for you.